Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. And I'm here with this week's Messages from Your Angels by Astrological sign. If you'd like to learn more about me and my services, please feel free to go to my website at www.terihunter.com. That's TERIHUNTER.com. You can also get my phone number and email are below in the information. All right, so what I want to say is today is July 12th, 2018, and we are currently having a partial solar eclipse in Cancer. It is the first of 3 eclipses that are coming. We've got the second on July 27th, and then the final one on August 11th. These eclipses they come around every year, but lots of times they will bring forth fated events. And these events can be not just challenging events, but good events, meaning ushering in children, ushering in new relationships, ushering in a new level in an existing relationship or a job. So as you're swimming through the next 6 weeks or so, I want you all to be kind of mindful of what you want to create, what you want to intend, and then put that declaration out to the universe in the form of thanks. And then see how the universe starts to deliver. All right, now I'm going to jump right into Aries. Let's see what Spirit has to say for you this week. All right, in the foundational position, we have the angel Layla. In the opportunity or the obstacle, we have the angel Ray. In the angel's advice, we have Merlina. And the final card is Rosetta. What I want to say for my Aries is that Layla is my mobile meditation. She's my angel that says, as I spend time in nature, God and the angels will talk to me through the things that I observe and see in nature, as I pay attention to the characteristics of the particular types of birds that I'm seeing, or lizards, or trees, or grass. I think this is really going to help give Aries a sense of perspective. I almost feel like sticking your feet in the ground will help ground you this week. I have Ray. She's a card or an angel that represents yoga and exercises being essential to your well-being. But for me, Ray is sitting in the picture in a meditative position. She's got her hands in the Om position. She's connecting her solar plex chakra, her power center, with her third eye, and then sending that up through the top of her head to Spirit. And she's flanked then by a green stripe and a blue stripe. So for me, when I look down at the card, I always see my connection to Spirit as my strength, and my heart and my throat chakra, the blue and the green stripe, they represent my agreement and my commitment to my connection to Spirit. And through that commitment, I then walk through the earth. Because I've got Merlina in the angel's advice saying that you're confused and indecisive right now, and that Aries doesn't have enough information. So in not having enough information, or not knowing exactly what the outcome or the next step is, I want to go back to Ray and take my power chakra, send it up through the top of my head to Spirit, and connect there. And then, as Layla asks, take a walk and look and see and try to observe what Spirit might be telling me. Because in the final position, I have Rosetta. And yes, many of you may be parents or work with children, but for me, Rosetta is always a card about the inner child, about having the innocence of a child, letting go of the worry of the adult, of the how to do it, how to make it happen, how push. I want to pull back. I want to actually sit back and connect with Spirit and have them lead me towards the answer to what I seek, to what Merlina is talking about. All right, let's go on to Taurus. What does Spirit have to say for Taurus this week? Oh, there's Rosetta again in our foundational position, and Opal in the opportunity, the obstacle. I have Xana in my angel's advice, and Merlina again. Very interesting. All right, Taurus, you've got both the children cards. So in the foundational position, Rosetta will talk about working with children. And again, I'm going to say this is about the inner child for me when I'm talking to a collective. But I do want to address my parents and the people who are working with children, because I want to say that Children oftentimes learn a lot more from observing our behavior and how we're processing things than they do us telling them how to process something, especially if what we do contradicts what we say. So I really want to offer my Taurians this week a childlike innocence, and in many ways to be mindful of how you're walking through the planet this week, and be mindful that there are little people watching you, because in the opportunity, the obstacle is opal. And that is where the angels say that your children on heaven and earth are safe and well cared for by God and the angels. And then in the angel's advice, I have Xana. Xana's my angel of protection, saying that all types of harm is behind me. And this is really, for me, again, about emotional and spiritual and mental harm versus physical harm. And in the final position, I have Merlina. Merlina is a card of confusion. So overall, Taurus, I feel like there are no answers this week. In fact, there may be the opposite. There may be more questions than there are answers. And as you, Taurus adults, walk through this experience, this situation, this dynamic with a little bit of innocence as a child, and then be mindful, not just of the children that are observing you, but the adults that are observing you as well. And adopting a childlike innocence that everything is going to work out for the best. And even though you can't see how that's going to be right now, holding that line, having that be your mantra. And I want to say this about Merlina. If you are confused or indecisive and you are actually seeking out expert advice about what your next move is, I want you to be very mindful if that advice is fear-based. Is it all about what could go wrong, how you'll get screwed, or how it will turn out bad? Because if that's who's giving you the advice, I want to pull back. And I want to say, I don't know if I want that person representing me or working with me. Because I really feel like I need to have a faithful dynamic. I need to believe that things are going to work out for the best. Don't go seeking trouble. Don't go looking down the rabbit's hole, because that's really going to mess with your mind. And Xana's here to tell you that you're being protected. And the protection, again, is not about physical harm. It's about your viewpoint. You're being protected. And things you cannot connect with right now, you can't see, you don't know how, sit back, pull back. Don't take action from a fear-based place. All right, guys, on to Gemini. All right, Gemini. What does Spirit have to say for you today? All right, in our foundational position, we have Mystique. In our opportunity or obstacle, we have Yvonne. In the angel's advice, we have Aurora. And the final outcome, we have Layla. So Mystique says, keep charging ahead, expect miraculous solutions. When I look at Mystique, I always hear Gloria Estefan's Coming Out of the Dark and Into the Light, a song that she wrote after she was in her bus accident and she was paralyzed for a while. And so it's very inspiring for me. So I really want to say for my Geminis, if for some reason you feel like you've been in the dark, I want to say this about the whole charging idea. I don't know about charging necessarily forward as much as I want to take more methodical steps. And again, Gemini, you know, you're the sign of the twins. You have an ability to look at both sides of a situation. Yvonne is encouraging you here to be vulnerable to the things that you want and to see things from a more hopeful, faithful, that things are going to work out. And being vulnerable to that idea and caring for that idea, for that notion. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you have started a new job, or maybe you've started your own business and things are a little choppy right now. Things haven't moved forward as flowing, as seamlessly as you'd like. I feel like I'm supposed to continue to just hold the line, move like the tortoise rather than the hare, methodically. And as I do, Aurora here says you're flying high right now, which may threaten others, but don't descend because you will soon set an example and inspire them. I don't think this is really about threatening, but sometimes when the people we love see us endeavor things they can't imagine we could do, they will bring up all the ways, all the pitfalls, all the fears that they have for us moving forward. And so as you stand vulnerable in the vision you have for yourself and methodically take Mystique's advice to keep moving forward, I do believe you will inspire others with your tenacity, with your ability to not know the answer, but know what you want the answer to be and then move forward. The final position is Layla. Layla's my walking meditation. In relation to Mystique, she's asking you to go out and spend time in nature, talking to God and the angels, and in doing so, thanking them for giving you the eyes to see your dynamic and your experience through new eyes is what I'm trying to say. Asking God and the angels to start to lay the breadcrumbs for, or give you the evidence that the dynamic you want is indeed coming to fruition. For me, being out in nature is God and the angels' easiest way to connect with us. And if we really think about the Native American culture, that is how they connected with the Great Spirit, was through hawk, eagle, the fish, the moose, the bear. I know we don't all have access to those different kinds of animals, but within our own dynamic, there are creatures that Spirit will use to give us the faith we need to continue to move forward. Okay, guys, let's go on to Cancer. This is your solar eclipse, guys. So I think for the most part, you guys will feel this the most, and our water signs will feel it, Pisces and Scorpio as well. Okay. What does Spirit have to say for you this week? All right, in our foundational position, we have Opal. In our opportunity, our obstacle, we have Seraphina. In the Angel's Advice, we have Desiree and Layla again. Wow, it's so weird how we get these running themes every week. Okay, so Opal talks about your children in heaven and earth are happy and well cared for by God and the angels. And many of you Cancers may have children, and that may be very well true. But I also want to say that for me as a collective, Opal is talking about that God and the angels are watching over you and your inner child. And if indeed you're worried about something or fretting about something, I've got Seraphina in the opportunity, the obstacle. She is my angel of abundance and resources, material abundance, material resources. And she stands with her hands open because God is in charge of the resources that you need. Now, I'm going to say this. I've got Desiree in the Angel's Advice, which is a little counterintuitive to what Serena's saying, because it's saying no, conditions aren't favorable. But I think they're not favorable because I'm getting the feeling that you Cancers are worrying too much. You're focusing in on all the things that haven't happened yet, all the things that all the challenges you've had to work through, all the knocking on the doors that haven't opened, or whatever it is. And I want to pull back and I want to say, those could be Spirit protecting you from taking something or walking into a situation that wasn't going to serve you. Because as you've asked God and the angels for those resources to move yourself forward, it's now about adopting a childlike innocence that God will deliver those resources. And then I have Layla in the final position again. She was sitting there for Geminis. Cancer, get out in nature. And this week, if you can get by a body of water or even take a salt bath in your own home, it would do you a world of good to help just sort of pull all that worry and that fretting or whatever stress you're feeling, whatever tensions have been building up. Because I think that there's more on the horizon that you can't see right now. And your willingness to have that childlike innocence is really going to do you a world of good down the line, because what it's going to do is build a spiritual muscle for you. So the next time you find yourself in a position where you want a certain outcome and you have no evidence of it, you can reflect back on this dynamic that then delivered what you wanted better than you could have imagined it. And that's a good muscle to have. That's a good tool to have in your box. All right, let's go on to Leo. All right. What does Spirit have to say for my Leos this month? I mean, this week, this month. I apologize if y'all hear the construction in the background. They should be wrapping it up in the next week or so. They've been putting push on, so it's been really crazy around here. All right, Leo. First card is Ariel. The second angel is Chantal. The third is Oceana. And the final is Archangel Michael. Well, this is interesting. Ariel is the angel of new spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world. And they're asking you to open up to allow these spiritual gifts to blossom through prayer, meditation, and through study. And I really want to say this because I think what Ariel is talking about is the energetic dynamics of the laws of attraction and the laws of allowing. So often when we want to experience something, we have the inspired idea of that, and then we go into the dual thought. The inspired idea is about 10% of where we spend our time, and the other is the challenge of getting there and the road to getting there and trying to figure out how we're going to do that. I really feel like Ariel is saying, as you put these directors to Spirit and then sit back and wait for guided action. Chantal is in the opportunity of the obstacle, and she's my romance angel. But here, I really think this is where you guys start to kind of fall in love with yourselves a little bit, because as you have put these directives to Spirit, and Spirit starts to lay the foundational steps for your movement forward, you're going to actually feel really good about yourself and in asserting yourself. I've got Oceana here saying you're in touch with your truth, lovingly assert yourself in that direction, which again speaks back to Chantal. As you step into your own passions and who you want to be and how you want to show up and the kind of relationship you want or the kind of job you want, you're going to get more and more excited to move forward as you see Spirit supporting that dynamic. And our final position is Archangel Michael saying that you're protected and asking you to have the courage to continue to stand in the arena of your own dreams, your own desires, your own wants for what you want to experience in this lifetime. I believe we have many lifetimes, but I'm only living this one right now, and this is the only one I know for sure. So as Teri Hunter, I'm going to do my best to live this life to its fullest. So I really believe that's what Spirit is asking you to do this week, is to set the groundwork for living your life to the fullest. All right, let's go on to our Virgos. All right, Virgo. The first angel is Teresa. The second is Oceana. The third is Indriel. And the final is Isaiah. So Teresa is my angel of worry. She kind of tells me I've been worrying about everybody else, taking care of everybody else. And rather than worry, God and the angels are saying, roll that over. Roll that over to us. Take some time out. Rest. Rejuvenate. Relax. Virgo, you're very much geared for accomplishment. You're geared to produce something, and I really believe that this week Spirit may be saying that it's a little bit about pulling back and allowing yourself a pause in some respects. Reflection. I have Oceana saying, again, take action. You're in touch with your truth, but I think that action is not necessarily forward motion, because Teresa and Oceana are actually counterintuitive. Teresa is saying to kick back, Oceana is saying to move forward. I think what's happening here is it's about kicking back a little bit so that you can regroup to then take loving action moving forward. I have Indriel in the Angel's Advice. She's a card, or the angel, that says, shine your light. This is in direct relation to Oceana. So, Virgo, let's just say you want to plan a trip, okay? And that's a stupid example, but I'm going to go with it anyway, because I don't want to get too deep with it. I feel like this is kind of more everyday stuff, and you're trying to get a lot done, and you know what? If it doesn't get done, it's okay. It's really okay, because I feel like I've got Isaiah saying it's time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life, and that you're being protected and guided through these changes. And if you're constantly running and busy, you're not going to be able to hear spirit. All of your own noise in your head is going to block it out. So I feel like Teresa's saying, kick back. Oceana is saying, take action in connecting with us so that you can shine your light and then open up to new opportunities. Opportunities where maybe you don't have to do everything. You can be more of a team player, I want to say, or allow others in to help accomplish your goals, and knowing that they'll do them just the way you would like them to be done. All right, let's go on to Libra. All right, Libra, what do the angels have to say for you this week? All right, there's Teresa in the first position, Archangel Raphael in the second, Yvonne in the third, and Mystique. Okay, so just like Virgo, I want to say, Libra, you are the sign of the scales. You could potentially have been very much weighing the pros and cons of situations or of time frames. Is things happening as quickly as you want them to? Am I getting everything done? And Teresa's saying, take a time out. And that time out is not like a punishment, but more of a take a deep breath, stop running, see where you're at, reevaluate. I have Archangel Raphael here in the opportunity, the obstacle, and he is the Archangel of healing. I don't know that I think this is about healing your physical body as much as it's sort of about Libra trying to get everything done, being everything to everybody. I don't think you can do that. And as I say it, I'm actually even not running out of breath. I feel like Libras are running. So I've got Yvonne in the Angel's Advice. Yvonne is my card of vulnerability. It's about being vulnerable to a bigger idea of things. So what if my Libras are vulnerable to the idea that if I don't do everything, it'll get done? How about that? Because I have Mystique in the final position saying to keep charging ahead. Don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions. I said this earlier when Mystique came out. I always hear Gloria Estefan's coming out of the dark and into the light. And I feel like Libras this week, if you allow spirit or even the people in your home or in your work environment, if you just don't always pick up your pooper scooper and try to get it done for everybody, you might see that other people can pick up and take care of things as well. And you don't have to feel so overly responsible. I really feel like you're feeling overly responsible. It's not fun. Okay, so take this lunar or solar eclipse today or this week and kind of set an intention that Spirit will show you that if you kick back a little bit, don't try to get it all done, put everything on your shoulders, but allow other people to take care of things as well, that you will indeed see evidence that you can trust that dynamic. All right, let's go on to Scorpio. I really feel like when I do this every week, I don't even know what's coming out of my mouth. It's just coming through so fast. All right, Scorpio, what does this solar eclipse have to say for you? Again, it's a partial solar eclipse. And I apologize, the answer machine just went off. So we will, good. They hung up. All right, Scorpio. My first position, I have Merlina. The second is Daniel. The third is Celeste. And the final angel is Shanti. Okay, so Scorpio, Merlina is a card of confusion, saying you don't have enough information right now and you may feel indecisive and confused and bewildered. I want to use the word bewildered. I feel like, again, give it a pause for a second because I feel like there'll be some sort of illumination. Scorpio, in the opportunity or the obstacle, I have Daniel, the angel of marriage. And then in the angel's advice, I have Celeste, which talks about a happy move to a new home or a new place of employment and ushering in new sense of positive energy. For me, Celeste is sort of funny because wherever I am, I think a certain way. So she really, to me, indicates the home of my mind. Now I go back to Daniel, and I feel like, Scorpio, that Spirit is asking you to kind of have a Review how you do relationships, how you process relationships. What stories do you tell yourself when you're in relation with another person in an intimate setting? I'm not talking about friends. I'm talking about straight up intimacy. Because I don't think Merlina says you're actually confused and indecisive, as much as I feel like maybe some of you are falling into old patterns or old things and thinking about things from a place where you may not have won in the past and you're anticipating that. Because Daniel, the angel of marriage, as he says he's bringing you a partner, he also asks you to review how you filter relationships. What do you win? Do you lose? Do people cheat? Are they honest? Do they follow up? Does someone have your back? I really feel like Spirit is asking Scorpio to look at the story they tell themselves about the relationships that they have. And then let those relationships in the past be where they are in the past. Wipe the slate clean and give these people that are coming into your lives a clean slate. Because I've got Shanti, the angel of peace here. And in order for that peace to come through, the disruptive old energies kind of have to balance out. So what if, for my Scorpios, this solar eclipse is your declaration to look at your intimate relationships through new eyes? And rather than jumping to a conclusion, stepping back, as Merlina says, and giving an opportunity for you to see something different. Maybe you'll see the same thing, but then you get an opportunity to show up different. You get an opportunity to take care of you if for some reason the other person is squirrely. So this week, and I think this partial solar eclipse is really about my Scorpios looking at how they process intimate relationships, their vulnerability in those relationships, and to sort of see, where are you giving up your power to someone else and then claiming your life back? And in doing so, you're going to feel stronger, even if the other thing is still disruptive, because you're going to feel that sense of peace. I got me. And that's important, Scorpio. All right, let's go on to Sag. All right, Sagittarius, what's up for you this week? All right, Fiona's in the foundational position. Estera's in the opportunity or the obstacle. Serafina is in the angel's advice. And then I have Daniel. Well, Sagittarius, I'm going to say this for you guys. It is so noisy in this neighborhood, man. Now we got the beeping going on. Ah! Okay. Okay, Sagittarius. Fiona is saying, now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving their guidance. Estera, in my opportunity and my obstacle, is saying to reach for your dreams and your desires without compromise. Serafina is saying a happy change is coming to your family. And then I have Daniel, the angel of marriage, at the end here. Now, some of you Sages are already married. Some of you want to get married. What I want to say here is I believe this week what Spirit is asking you to do is to really lift the rug on your relationships. Look and see where you are feeling frustrated and where you're feeling happy. And then to allow yourself the vulnerability of, I guess I want to say it this way, guys. I feel like my Sagittariuses need to really look at their relationships and how are you showing up. And even if your partners might be a little squirrely or, I don't know, disconnected, busy with work, stuck in a routine, a little bit like a Del Taco commercial, unconsciously going through their day. I feel like this is about you guys, instead of getting frustrated, being, focused on what your partner's doing, being the partner you want to show up for you. Because I think that if you do that, you're going to send some sort of subliminal message to the people in your life that's going to actually shift things to a more comfortable place, a more, I want to use the word peaceful. Daniel, the angel of marriage in the final position, is really, he'll talk about bringing a marriage in, but he always asks us to look at our pattern in our relationships, how we show up. When we start to love somebody or when we're vulnerable to love, we can tend to start to think that we're going to get screwed or something bad's going to happen, and I don't think that's necessarily true. So as you turn that over to Spirit and you ask Spirit to give you the eyes to feel comfortable and confident, and if you're willing to look at your relationships and assess where there is balance, where there isn't balance, and how you're contributing to it. I think that's what Spirit's asking you to do this week. And in doing that, I think you're actually going to feel better and start to potentially see evidence of that. You know, I talked earlier about this partial solar eclipse in Cancer today, and it's on a new moon. So in your ability to reflect on how you show up in relationships will give you the opportunity to feel that, I don't know, it feels like an empowering idea. You know, I don't need to be mad at you or the other party if I'm showing up the way I want to be, because then I'm just assessing things and I'm just using Daniel's energy as a piece of information. I hope that makes sense for you. I'm not saying that your relationships should, I don't feel like I'm supposed to make decisions on my relationships this week as much as I'm supposed to reflect as my Sagittarius on how I show up in relationships. What do I bring to the table? How do I create the dynamics I want to experience? All right, let's go on to Capricorn. I know this is going to sound so crazy, Capricorn, but I can't wait for Christmas this year. I don't know why. I'm just kind of excited about decorating again. God, had so much fun last year. So thinking of you Capricorns made me think of Christmas. All right, here we go. First angel is Caressa. The second is Ray. The third is Rochelle. Oh, and the final card is Daniel again. Okay, guys. So for my Capricorns, Caressa talks about you being at the end of a life cycle. God and the angels are here to comfort you as you embark on a new happy chapter in your life. Ray talks about yoga and exercise on the face of the card being essential to your well-being and peace of mind, but she's sitting in a meditative position and she's connecting her solar plex chakra, her power center, to her third eye, and then sending it up through the top of her head to Spirit. That stripe is flanked by a green stripe and a blue stripe, which represents my heart chakra in the green and my throat chakra in the blue. So this card is really very much for me representing what I'm saying to Spirit and how I'm saying it. Then I have in the Angel's Advice Rochelle. Rochelle says, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, prosperity is coming to me. But that's never about money for me. It's about the various facets of my being thriving. My physical body, my spiritual body, my intimate body, my financial body, my family body, all those bodies. And then in the final position, I have Daniel, the angel of marriage. And, you know, he traditionally says that he's bringing in a partner for you. But he really asks us to go a little bit deeper into how we're showing up in partnerships and what we've experienced in the past, and if we're bringing that past into the present. So I want to say for Capricorn, some of you may be ending relationships. You may be embarking on new relationships. But I want to say this, I do think that those of you in existing relationships have an opportunity to, I want to say, to kind of fluff up your relationships, to stand in a place of more emotion for your partners in some respects, to be willing to be present. Present is what I want to say. Because it feels to me not like the endings of things, as Caressa says, but maybe the endings of a little bit of unconsciousness in my partnerships, being more mindful, trying to show up as the partner that I want to have in my life. All right, let's go on to Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, what does Spirit have to say for you this week? Okay, first angel is Shanti. The second is Isabella. The third is Bridget. And the final card is Athena. Very interesting. So Shanti is the angel of peace. And in order for peace to come through, Aquarius, whatever is disrupting that peace has to be eliminated, balanced out. Isabella says, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. And then Bridget says, caution. Look deeper into the situation. Now that's interesting because to me this is so, Isabella and Bridget are opposite. But what I think they're saying is, because I have Athena here. Athena in the final position is saying that it's safe for me to lovingly assert myself. I want to say for my Aquariuses, I think that this might be an opportunity for you to, I want to say this, whatever is disrupting your peace, what the dynamics that Shanti is offering you with this new era of peace coming in, I think in many respects it's really about you looking a little bit deeper about how you're showing up. So I want to say this. You may have something very benign to tell your partner, your family, your workmates, whatever the case may be. I kind of feel like Shanti and Isabella are saying, how are you approaching it? Are you being a little too dry? Is it too factual? Because even though I know Athena is saying it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself, I think this is about looking about how you assert yourself. And I'm just getting this feeling that people around you might be thinking you're being too blunt or too dry or not being emotive enough in your communications this week. Almost as if you're so busy, you've got things to do, so you're just kind of getting it out there. And I feel like I have to be a little bit more mindful of how I'm landing on other people this week. And when I do that, I'm actually going to start to create more connection, more cohesiveness, more team player dynamics, whether that be in the family, in the workplace, in my relationship, my intimate relationship, wherever it may be. As I really feel like Aquarius Spirit is asking you to look at how you land on other people, how people are perceiving you in your communications. Okay, let's go on to our final sign, Pisces. As I always say, my little lucky Pisces. All right, first angel is Yvonne. Our second is Akasha. The third is Rosetta. And the final angel is Mystique. Okay, Pisces. Yvonne talks about having a way with animals and knowing that your pets are cared for in heaven and on earth. For me, I never was a mom to a human, so my animals were always my kids, and I was always very vulnerable to, making sure they were safe and cared for. So if for some reason this week you're feeling vulnerable, do your best to just self-soothe, not to worry too much. I've got Akasha here. She's a spiritual teacher. And I think this is really Spirit offering you an opportunity to learn about a childlike innocence, because I have in the Angel's Advice Rosetta. And Rosetta is a card about working with children, but as a collective, I always see it as the inner child. So I want to be vulnerable and learn from my inner child that when I do trust that innocence of children look for the good. Naturally, they believe in magic. They don't look for Allstate to save their ass or, worry that something is going to come hit them from behind the head. They believe in good things. And I think Mystique in my final position is asking you, Pisces, to focus in on the good things. Even if for some reason you feel inundated with a bunch of crap, find the one thread that takes you, that you can weave through all of that crap and that will make sense to you, because whatever's going on is temporary and it will change, and it will change for the better. But I think you have something to learn about what you're putting out into the universe. Feels like there's a focus on what's not working, and I want to change that focus a little bit to, something is working. And even this disruption, if it is disruptive, I have something I can get from that. I can turn that disruption around and use it to my advantage. So for Pisces, be vulnerable to your dreams. If there is something that's kind of fly in the ointment, know that the fly's coming out and everything's going to be okay, and just keep charging ahead. And when I say charging, I don't mean necessarily taking action in the physical as much as allowing my mind to move forward in that faithful, everything is going to work out. And when I experience something that appears not to be working out, that Spirit may be laying the groundwork for something better that I could not have imagined. And with my childlike innocence, I'm going to trust that Spirit is taking care of me. And in doing so, I'm going to stand in gratitude and appreciation of this experience. All right, guys, that's it for me this week. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner. If you'd like to book a private session with me, please feel free to give me a call. My cell phone is in the information below, or you can text me. You can also reach me through my website, my email, info@terihunter.com. Enjoy our solar eclipse today. And if you get a chance, set a declaration. Let the universe know what it is you want to experience. These eclipses, they can have far-reaching tentacles. All right, guys, have a great week. I'll be back next Thursday. See you later.